And when we say bedding process, that's you're checking your horse in. You go to a ride, you go to the sign up tent, and you get all registered, and they'll give you a rider card. So Marty's the ride manager. She's going to get you signed in, and then she's going to give you this rider card. This is for limited distance or endurance. And it's going to look like this. On the back side is where they'll check you in. I'm sorry, they'll check you in on the front side. Excuse me, I'm losing my mind. And get your initial parameters. And then you flip it over, and there are several sections for each time you come in for a vet check. So if you're doing a limited distance ride, you're going to have one vet check, or I mean one hold. So you'll come in after, say, 12 miles, you'll go through all of this, and then you'll do your next 13 miles, and then at the end, they'll score you again. And hopefully your horse is fit to continue and you'll pass. So I'm the rider, or actually Nicole's the rider, and she came in the morning, she's going to do, she came in the night before. So she takes her horse and, well, because limited distance, you usually come in the night before. She makes sure her horse has been walking, you either tie him to the trailer or you set up a little portable pen. People, do lots of different things. But what you want to do before you present to the vet is make sure your horse is loosened up. So we'll trot him, we'll walk him, and just, if you had a long trailer ride, it makes a big difference. So now, she's got everything ready to go. Sometimes there'll be a line, but you'll just, at your convenience, go up to the vet. You'll hand them, there'll be a scribe usually, they'll give them a card. And Linda's going to kind of go through, she's going to be our vet, and she'll go through what she's checking.
And we're going to do a pre-check on this horse. Are we doing comp or LD?
LD.
We're doing 100. I got Nitro. What are you talking about?
Yeah, no.
We should probably introduce this horse. This is an AERC decade horse, which means Nitro has done 100 miles for 10 years. I mean, every year for 10 years. That's a major accomplishment. It's a great horse.
And he's not big. And I want to point out, big is not necessarily better.
Doesn't he have a DCs in those 100?
Yeah, 14 DCs and 20-some wins, so he's been phenomenal.
He's retired, so he's looking at us now like, what? What are we going to do? Okay. Would it be easier for you to come up here? Would he be okay if they come?
Oh, yeah.
All right. And kind of see where she's going to fill out on the card and stuff. It's up to you.
Yeah, if you want to trot around and see what she's filling out and checking.
That we'll do. Okay, they're going to do a pre-ride check. They want to know what the status of your horse is before the ride, so they have something to also to compare to. Okay? So, one of the things you're going to do with your horse is going to have to be is somebody coming out and want to look at the mouth. What they're going to do is just pull his lip up, and on this pink mucus membrane, you're going to press your thumb. And it's going to be white under your thumb. When you take it off, you're going to count to see how long it takes it to turn pink again. The longer that takes, then you're getting into metabolic problems, but at checking you should have no problems at all. It should be a 1 right away. During a ride, also, if we have a horse that's getting tired, these mucus membranes will either be dry or sticky. So that's also another factor that they'll want to look at. So your horse needs to be able to let somebody mess with his mouth a little bit. Okay? Carrots are even better. If you want to come over here, I'll show you. We're going to come along. His mucous membrane was a 1. They're going to do a jugular refill, and you'll just see them run their thumb down this jugular groove here. And what they're going to do is press in to stop, to occlude the jugular, and let go, and it should feel right back in. Okay, again, if you have a horse that's dehydrated or tired, basically if he's dehydrated, he's low on fluid, it's going to take a long time to refill, or if he's got a metabolic issue, he's just not pumping blood as well as he should. So that's another thing you can practice on. This is usually not a big deal unless they just had an IV injection, and then they're not real crazy about it. Okay, they're going to come here, and you want on there's this little muscular triangle here is your best part to hit, not your shoulder where there's no meat underneath, I guess I could say. And they're going to pinch it and let it go, and it should spring right back. It's a little hard to see with the long hair, but it should go right back. That means his hydration is good. If he was dehydrated, I've seen him stay pinched. Okay, that's not a good sign. So that's another thing that they need to get used to. Just somebody's going to come along and pinch him. I'm not sure the level on the brief, but the order on the card.
Okay, the next one. So that was capillary refill, jugular refill, and then gut sounds. And I'm putting A. The vet's going to call out a score to me, and I'm going to write it here in this
She's
column.
going to write it down.
So this is gut sounds.
Let's do this first, and then I'll do stethoscope all at once.
Okay.
We're going to do back, and we don't have to do back like crunch them, you know, and you'll see, and you will see them do that. But just to go along, no back reaction at all, is just fine. They're going to come in, and right here on the inside of the point of the hip, and just give that a little jiggle, see if he's tight or anything. They're going to look at anal tone. You should be able to just tap at the top of the anus and it should move. Believe it or not, when they're tired, it doesn't. Who discovered that? I don't know. Why they were looking for that, I don't know. That's right. So somebody got the back of the horse today, I don't know. So, okay, the other thing they're going to do is they're going to do a pulse. They're going to listen to that. We usually do everything in 15 seconds. So if like this horse has let's say he has a 20 pulse, they're going to say 5. So don't think your horse has a pulse rate of 5 per minute. You have to take that times 4. Okay. And the same with the respiration. Now, for you, you should practice taking pulse, and I guess we're going to do that later on. Do you want me to go into that at all? Or,
Sure. Just touch on it.
Okay. Yeah. When you come up to a horse, and getting used to being touched here and coming up to them with a cold stethoscope. Because at a ride, there's already a lot of new things going on. And if you come up to them, he's had this. Like, so what? But you can, the heart rate will go up. Because they're right. What are you doing to me? What are you doing to me? Well, if you're riding competitive, you're on points. Okay, and it might take him a little while to come down. Also, if you got your 60 at the end, and you brought him up and he's right at a 60, they hit him with this and he goes up to 64, you're not done yet, okay? So this is something also to getting used to. And it's good for you to kind of know, keep a log of your pulse and respiration. When you're doing respirations, I'm kind of old school on this. I'll just get them used to me having my hand here in their flank, and I try to breathe with them and count and go with them on that. Some horses don't like to be touched there. So you can also take your stethoscope and listen up here. You can also listen here on your trachea. You can get a reading here a little bit, but they usually end up sniffing your hand, so it's not always real accurate. And another thing you have to watch with Nicole is when you're checking in, some riders like to kind of press the nose down a little bit. That's illegal. Okay.
I had a very old endurance rider especially tell me that you put your horse's nose right here. That's why God made boobs.
Okay, we're going to take his pulse for 15 seconds. Right, yeah.
There's a lot of stuff going on.
How old is this horse?
He's about 22.
Wow, good.
Yeah, thanks. I wouldn't have retired him, but I broke my leg last year and I was afraid to get back on him.
Hey, that was 130.
A little out of shape.
13. And they put that right here. They'll put a pulse of 13.
That one needs to be taken times 4.
But you write down the 13. Well, you won't describe. If you're describing, you put down the 13.
3.
It has a T here for temperature, but they don't usually take it. They do sometimes, but not.
Yeah, when you get into your hotter climates or something, they will, especially if they're worried about horses overheating, they'll do temps. But usually it might even be towards the end of a ride just to get core temps on horses. Okay, they're also going to do gut sounds on your horses, so that's another thing your horse has to get used to, is they're going to go here and here, and here and here, and listen to gut sounds. And what they're going to want to hear is, they're going to want to hear movement, some gurgling, something. A really quiet gut means things aren't moving through. So you want to hear something. Now, if it's overly active, that's also a problem too. So again, that's a good way to become familiar with what's normal for your horse when he leaves home. The one thing about this sport, I mean, I've been in showing, I've been in the breeding business, I've been in a little bit of everything, ranch work and everything. This sport will tell you, you will learn more about your horse, I think, in this sport, and you have the luxury of watching vets actually look at your horse. Everybody looks at your horse. I mean, people watch Trot outs, and, you know, he's a little off in the left front. Everybody goes, oh yeah, you know, it's not, we're going to hide it. It's a fact. What do we do about it? You know, and there's honest discussion about, well, you know, do we need to put ice chips on him, or do we continue shooting, or something like that. It's a very open, transparent sport, and I gotta say, I've learned the most about general horsemanship in this sport and care for your horse in general. So, so we would just go around here. We would listen in these quadrants on both sides on him. Okay, they're going to do leg. We're going to say his guts were an A. They're going to come along. Every horse should be able to be able to touch all 4 legs. And they'll usually go down, and they'll want to see if there's filling in this tendon area or anything.
Show it later.
And they'll usually pick it up and actually palpate your tendon through here. Some vets will do a little bit of a flex in here.
Sometimes sometimes they don't do that for endurance though.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. Don't be shocked if they don't go into
If
that
they
much.
don't, but they'll palpate a little bit, and they'll go on all 4 legs and do that. So your horse should be agreeable to do all 4 legs. I think in competitive you can lose manner points if your horse kicks the back. Oh yeah. So that's not good. What else do we have to check?
We're down to cat dog moves and then getting personality.
Okay, on competitive,
No, we're going to do that separately.
oh, okay. So, but on endurance and LD, you can have something marked if you want, but it's more of a reference than it is. I don't think they take off any points.
They don't take off points,
They
but
wait for BC, so you
Oh,
still
they
want
might
to declare.
You're right,
If
you're
you
right.
have like a scratch, maybe a horse, or maybe you interfered and got a little wound, you want to tell the vet any places that there's something there so that they don't think it happened during the ride, because then you will lose points if it happens during the ride.
So, are we ready for a trot out?
I think we are.
Okay.
Yeah, we're up to, there was no tack gallery, so I've got A's going all the way down my chute.
Nitro and I are going out for a ride. Watch out, Julie, we may not come back.
If there was a tackle, that's a good question. Like sometimes horses will get a sore at the girth area, or sometimes they'll get a sore even down where they've had a boot on or something like that, and they can get points taken off. Not if they come to the ride with that, but if they leave it, but they mark it down anyway.
Okay.
Also, there it is possible to get your galls up in here. Also, up in here. Yeah, if your saddle isn't fitting properly or something, it would be possible to get a gall up in here. Okay, we're going to do a trot out, and in endurance and LD, it's a straight out, straight back to the vet. You want to present your horse the best way you can, but it's not a horse show. You want him to be loose on the lead. You don't want to have a tight grip on him here. You want to, like Nicole has him, give him some headroom. You want that head to be able to swing and move, because if you hold him still, that translates down through his whole body, and he may stiffen on one side, He may curve his body a little bit to stay with his head, and they're going to maybe think we have a lameness going on, okay? So you want to make sure your presentation shows what the horse is really doing at the time. Another thing, if you can stay back by his shoulder and let him show impulsion, good attitude, like he's ready to go, that's a much better presentation than one that wants to drag behind with his ears back. And
I don't know anything about those kind of horses.
yeah, and some horses just do that. They just do. You cannot take a whip. You cannot haze or anything like that.
Pardon?
Sorry?
Chain, the lead rope,
Yes, you can have a chain.
You can.
and you can use halter or bridle.
Yes.
Yeah.
A lot of the bridles we use in endurance have a bit that comes off and it's got the halter underneath. But yeah, you can trot your bridle if you want to, not a problem. Most of them will have saddles off though, depending on the check. Okay, so we're going to have Nicole go down. The perfect way to do it, the best presentation, is to go down and stop your horse, walk a nice circle with you on the inside of the circle, position your horse so he's straight with the vet, and come straight back.
You don't want to turn that, you don't want to trot that circle.
That little tight circle.
Because it can make a horse take a bad step and make them look lame.
You don't go both ways, you just go one.
No, we're just
Now
going to go
this
straight
is-
down, and she's going to come straight back.
For LD.
Now, in competitive, we do circles.
Because I thought novice last year I had.
Novice does circles.
We'll
Okay,
practice
that'll
that.
be
This is
later.
LD endurance. It's just straight down and straight back. So she's going to go straight away from me.
Trot.
Getting position. Good boy. Look at you. Okay, and what they're going to be looking for is any irregularity of gait at all. Nitro's fine, he's no problem. And he also, coming back, had his ears up. He had a brilliant look in his eye. If they start to get a dull eye or a half open eye, that might be a sign of fatigue, something like that. So another reason you want to do your presentation nicely is don't make your horse look like he's tired. You know, and I've got a couple that just think they're chronically tired. And so, you know, you have to practice that when you're doing this, you got to pick it up. This is part of the game.